Everybody, thanks for watching. So real quick, Merkabah Scholar Society members, make sure you guys check the app for the new video. There's a link in the app, so make sure you guys check the app. So let's get right into this video. So now, I put out a lot of videos over the years on, hip hop, everything that really pertains to the Black community and Black history, from Egypt all the way to, China, Cambodia, what have you. I've covered everything from A to Z. So one of the biggest questions that I get as far as the situation that Black people are still in is, why are we still in this situation? So one of the things I want people to understand, and I covered this topic, but not this much in depth, right? So you guys got to understand. Now, I'm pretty sure most people will agree, to grow anything, any group of people that's trying to grow or be successful in anything, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what society you live in, it begins with the family. Plain and simple. Family is going to determine whether or not your generations grow and how successful your generations is going to be, how successful your bloodline is going to be, right? Begins with the family. So if you're in a prominent family, a family that has status, 9 times out of 10, your offspring or people that's in your bloodline are going to do well because they have that family name, which means something to the world of business, to the world of whatever, right? So we see in business today, even Kraft Foods, and you have Purdue Chicken even. So many of these major corporations, Fortune 500 companies that we see, began with families that still own the corporations, right? Passed down through generations after generation, right? It's what we call generational wealth. You do something as a family and you pass it down. You create enough wealth to pull all your family members into the business, and you branch off from that to create other things, right? So we look at all the major families throughout the world, the Rockefellers, right? The Schiffs, the Rothschilds, and everybody who we talk about. These families have done things in business and throughout the world to maintain their status and power that they have today, right? So family is everything, right? Family is going to be the foundation for you being something in the future, right? So if you want to corrupt and destroy a people, you have to begin with the family. You have to attack the family. Now, we seen growing up how successful white families are. We seen family values that they have. It's not just about coming from a prominent family. It's about the values that's instilled within that family. We see with the mob, you had mob families, right? And the mob eventually, became legit, but it wasn't so much, like that with the mob. We all know, the history, and they was out killing and doing all kinds of crime and everything that we seen the mob do. But everything was about business. They stood on business. Business was attached to family, and business was ahead of family. But family was a close second, right? But business was everything. If you was in a family and you was doing well with business, it wasn't a problem. But if you messed up on business, there was an issue, right? So we understand that. Business is important, just as important as the family, because that's how much they knew how serious business would be. Because if you have a family member that threatens the success of the family, you got to get rid of that family member, unfortunately. So the mob understood this. They understood how important business was. They understood how important family was. And they kept those things tight, right? So we got to understand, as I said, to corrupt any people, you got to begin with the family. And this is what happened to Black people. We had to realize that we didn't have any leeway in becoming successful after slavery, yet we still did so. We still seen shortly after slavery, Black people already in our own right figure out a route to success, right? We know Black Wall Street, we know other prominent rich Black folks figure out a way to become successful right out of slavery, to grow generational wealth, because they understood how far back we were after slavery, and that the only way for our generations to grow is for them to begin to establish wealth, success. And this is what we set out to do, and this is what we did. One, we had a lot of practice in doing it because we seen how it should be done during slavery. We seen the amount of wealth one family could amass, and we understood how important it was for families to stick together and to grow successfully, right? So we began doing this. And there were a lot of prominent Black families in Black Wall Street and Tulsa, and just throughout America. And our business dealings back then had to do with each other. We patronized each other. We looked out for each other. As we all know, Black people helped fund Dr. King. They helped fund Malcolm X. They helped fund Medgar Evers. They helped fund so many different endeavors that was vital to the growth of the Black community, right? So it took us coming together economically for us to gain inches, the little bit of inches that we gained back then to become successful, right? Enter, of course, the white power structure to come in and corrupt that and change that. And to put us so far in poverty that Black people wouldn't care who they had to step on, even if it was their own family, to get ahead, right? So again, they made it so tight. Whereas before, you go to high school, you learn the trade, you learn how to be an electrician, a plumber, construction, whatever, in high school. You got to high school, you work at a factory, you get a job or what have you. That's enough for you to support your family. Talked about this before. And they changed that and made it so that these skills require you to pay for, require you to go to college or a trade school or what have you, in order for you to get these skills, because we were getting these skills and we were excelling. We were so united as a people back then that we was taking these skills and we was growing economically, and they couldn't have that. We were showing that, one, if you paid attention and you looked at it, it was showing that the Black family could be just as equal or even surpass the white family as long as we was given a chance, right? They had to stop that. So we fast forward, stuff I talked about before. We understand how we was closing a wealth gap in the 1980s. We understand the unity that took place in the 70s, with the whole Vietnam War. Black and white people were coming together, united in that common goal to basically show the corruption of the government, sending young boys over to a foreign country to die for corporations, basically, right? So, again, to destroy your people, first one, you got to destroy the image. And that was the biggest thing that they did for us, because as long as you have your image, right, you're going to be fine, right? If you're a celebrity, you're making so much money just off image alone. Doesn't matter how far ago or how long ago your movie came out or your song was out. It's people that's basically what we call one-hit wonders or washed up in America that's going to other countries, like going to Africa, right? Going to countries in Africa and doing tours and selling out shows, what have you, and making crazy money because their image was already solidified and their uprising, right? So you destroy image, you basically destroy people. So I want you to go back, man. Just go back to the 50s and 60s and look at how Black people was dressing, how we started to dress like white people, get perms and slick our head back, right? We wanted to fit in and look the image that white people looked, because we thought that image meant success. We thought that image meant safety, that we were intelligent. That image meant something to us, to look like them, because they patronized each other. They talked to each other with respect. We felt like having a suit on and looking like them and talking like them meant that you would get respect in their society, right? This is what we thought. This is why we did certain things to fit in with these people. And we laugh at it today and we call each other coons or what have you, but there was no other system. We didn't have nothing else. We didn't have nobody to look to for an image of success but them. Plain and simple. So when people say, oh, we was selling out or we was trying to fit in, there was nothing else for us to look to satisfy that identity, right? So, of course, when we had Black people coming up, you go and look at those pictures, even in Black Wall Street, they was dressed like the white folks. They had the cars like the white folks. They was doing business like the white folks. Plain and simple. This is what we had to go off. The problem is this: we was doing way too good at it. We was doing way better than them at it in certain aspects. And they took all that away. So again, what I want to say to Black people, a lot of people ask these questions, is why is it that we were so willing to accept their system when we understand that everything that they've given us has been corrupted, and every time that we gain a foot, an inch, a centimeter, they corrupt it, they destroy it, they take it away. So why are we so quick to accept anything that comes from them? Why couldn't we understand and use the examples of Black Wall Street and everything else to understand that we needed to create our own structure and grow economically in our own right, just like our ancestors did, just like they did back in the 20s. So by us being so deep in poverty and Black people wanting so much to come out of that, they allow certain Black people in. right? And those black people would become successful, and they would bring in other black people, and they would become successful. And then there became this group. There's basically this in crowd, the token black guy who got in, who got successful because of the white man. And they gatekeeped because, one, you just couldn't bring in anybody. And two, they didn't want this thing to spread. So that was how things was done. You bring in certain black people with the understanding that this was uniquely for you, and that this is not, what all black people can do. But that comes with corruption, because you can't just say that to a black person, because they're going to look at it and say, why? But that comes with you saying to them, no, they're going to hate on you. Oh, well, if I bring you in, if I bring him in, I can't pay you as much, right? That came with corruption. So destroying the image is what they did. So since the unity had already began in the 70s, black people that marched peacefully, been beat up, been spat on, dogs bit us, everything that we seen during the civil rights movement that white people observed, and they said there's nothing wrong with these people, there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with us. Like, why are we doing this to these people? These people are peaceful. And then the unity began to happen, and they could not allow that, plain and simple. So enter in, of course, crack cocaine, hip hop music, gangster rap, whatever you want to call it, drill, whatever you want to call it. It's the same message, plain and simple. Everybody want to talk about, oh, that's not rap, that's hip hop, that's not hip hop, that's drill. It's the same message, the same shit. Any type of black music that's talking about the destruction of the black community and destroying black people is what they want. They don't give a damn who's singing it, who rapping it, or what have you, as long as that's the message, that's the only message they're going to put out. Now, again, when people are in such a state of poverty, they don't care what they got to do to crawl out of it. And this is what was used as a weapon against us and the destruction of the black family, beginning again with the black man, with the father, the head of the household, the man that has to go out there and work. Because if you go back, what was happening back then? The black man was going to work. He was bringing home his paycheck. Wife was raising the kids. She was paying the bills. She was taking care of the household. He had to go out there and work his ass off to make sure that he can create generational wealth for his family, send his kid to college or what have you, right? This is what was going on. Now, understand, when they do something to us, they have to show it equal to the white community. But the thing is this, in the white community, they can have all that. It's not going to destroy them as a whole. It's not going to really hurt the white community as a whole. You're going to have some white people that's going to be looking the same as black people as far as being in poverty, as far as having a family member on drugs, as far as having a family member that's prostituting, what have you. We're going to see the same type of corruption. The difference is that will not affect the white family as a whole, but it will affect the black family, since we haven't even gotten to the level of success that they are in. Plain and simple. Because they can't have it to where you look into every white household and everybody's rich, everybody's living good. And then you go in the black community, and then black people living in poverty, right? It has to be something that they can say, they can look to and say, well, see, these white people ain't got money like we do, or these white people are poor, or these white people living in poverty, to hide the racism and hide the oppression that exists within the system, right? So now racism has become covert, as we know. We know racism is hidden. It's not, whites only like before. It shows up on applications. It shows up in exam questions, college entry forms or what have you. Are you black, white, what race or what have you? We see how racism exists, redlining and everything that took place, back in the 60s, 70s or what have you, right? So we understand that. We understand everything that's in the way. So understand where I'm going here, right? So image is important. Image is everything. Controlling the image of a people is how you control a people and how they're viewed to the rest of the world, right? So, again, us accepting their system, accepting their corruption. Go back to those black people who understood that if I look like this white man, I might get a little bit more leeway. I might get a little bit more respect if I at least look like them. That they can look at me and kind of sort of see me as being intelligent or see themselves in me. We understood and we fought hard for that image, right? Only to allow them to corrupt it with hip hop. How do you corrupt the people? How do you destroy their image? How do you destroy the black family, right? It's understanding, one, man, if you're trying to get a job, right? If you're trying to gain favor from a person in any perspective, in any capacity, right? You're not going to walk in there and bullshit. You're not going to walk in a job that's at a fucking Fortune 500 company dressed as a fucking clown. You're not going to walk into a job that pays six figures, that require you to sound and look a certain way. You're not going to walk in there dressed like a fucking clown, right? Making all kinds of noise, being obscene, being disrespectful, disrespecting the people that's there, disrespecting yourselves. That will be stupid. How is that going to help you if everything, your rent, your food, everything is on the line? Everything depends on you getting this job. You're not going to walk into that job interview just like a fucking clown, bullshitting around, playing games and being disrespectful, right? So if you look at our situation where everything depends on our success, the future of our people depends on our economic success. Why are we walking into the fucking interview? Why are we walking into the building dressed like fucking clowns, disrespecting each other? This is the same scenario with hip hop, to where they took everything that would destroy a person's image, everything that would destroy credibility. They corrupted all of it. Understand first, us getting through slavery, us getting through Jim Crow and everything, us getting through all of the propaganda videos of, don't trust black people because they're going to act nice, but they're really trying to fucking rape your wife. They're really trying to rape your kids. Getting through fucking integration into these schools, getting through all of that, getting through all the racism, redlining, all the shit we got through. We get through all that shit. We make it to the fucking 70s and 80s to close the gap a little bit, close the wealth gap between us and white America. We get this far only to throw it all away over some stupid bullshit called hip hop, called rap, right? So now here we are. We standing in this situation and we keep excelling. We keep surpassing them. We keep surpassing every fucking thing that they put in our way. We beat it. We adapt to it. We beat it. We overcome it. We move forward. And they finally found something that would keep us exactly where they want us to be. And that was hip hop. And I don't understand. I mean, black people who trying to be rappers and black people who got 16s, who want to be famous or what have you, who want to add to the problem, they're not going to like what I'm saying. They're not going to like this video, right? But we threw it all away. We've been tricked. Plain and simple. They tricked us. We've been conned. And a con is elaborate. A con involves a lot of steps, right? So you've seen some elaborate cons. You guys seen Ocean's 11. They had to build a whole vault facade and spend millions just to complete this heist, to complete the con. These dudes had to be an actor. They had to do so many different things to complete the mission, right? So yeah, hip hop has award ceremonies, right? Hip hop has movies. Hip hop has so much surrounding it to make it look prominent, to make it look respectable. It's the same thing with religion. Religion is surrounded by churches and buildings, cathedrals, a pope, Vatican City, movies, so much, but it's bullshit. It's there to corrupt you. Hip hop is no fucking different. Plain and simple. It's no different. And we threw away everything that we worked hard for to accept a culture that's not even ours, that's there to destroy us. Hip hop is the biggest Trojan horse ever in the history of the world. So I'm gonna tell you this. The thing is, when you go into those job interviews, the person who's interviewing you, they're in on the scam. Because if I'm trying to hire somebody for a Fortune 500 company and they walk in just as a fucking clown, I'm gonna bust out laughing. But they know they got to keep on a straight face, right? They got to keep a straight face on because this is a part of the plan. This is a part of the con, and I'm in on it. So I can't start laughing because this person gonna wonder why I'm laughing. And now we're to the point where a motherfucker don't even care if you laugh as long as the check is right. But this has been the con. So now hip hop comes along. They stop allowing it to be exactly what it was. And of course, I said this many times, I still believe that hip hop can save the black community. It just has to be done the way it was originally intended to be, right? Which was our message of unity, our message of our voice being heard, our message about who we are. And then now they corrupted that, and who we are gangsters. We thugs, right? Our culture Our culture is gang banging, bitches twerking, shooting niggas in the head, selling drugs to each other, disrespecting ourselves, disrespecting our families. That's our fucking culture. And we can't see that a Sexy Red, a Cardi B, a Nicki Minaj, and all these people that's been put out here has been put in the music industry to destroy us even further. So we look at these award ceremonies, these hip hop music awards or what have you, everybody's laughing at us and we don't even see it. It's them allowing the clown into the Fortune 500 company and he's walking around, he's serious. He's doing his job. He is at work on time. He's doing everything he's supposed to do, but everybody in the building is laughing at him behind his back, right? He comes into work, he gets employee of the week, employee of the month, but meanwhile, everybody's laughing at him. He's a joke, and he don't even realize that he's there for entertainment purposes. That the job that they're getting him to do is to destroy himself and his family. And he don't realize what he's doing is destroying all the other people that he thinks he's helping, that he thinks he's there for, right? So this is what's happening with hip hop, because I look at these award shows and I look at, you know, the white people that's there and they got to be scratching their fucking heads. And it's like, this dude is about to get an award for talking about bitches and hoes. He's about to get an award, right, for talking about killing black people. And there's a white power structure that is praising the whole ceremony, the whole situation. There is a white supremacy group that is praising the whole situation. There's racist white people who's praising the whole situation because they understand that this image of black people getting these awards, saying to other black people that this is the way for you to make it in our society, that you can talk about killing yourself, destroying your people, corrupting your people, and we will reward you.